Some individuals are fortunate enough to have been raised in a home where there's a sense of security, warmth, connection, and attachment. Unfortunately, some individuals are not as lucky, and this might result from the fact that there's so many children in the family that mom and dad are just stressed out, they don't have enough time. It might also be that they might be grappling with issues of addiction or anxiety and depression, and they're really not equipped to being, the greatest parents. I understand. But typically, what happens to individuals where they experience abuse, neglect, or they don't receive that secure connection or attachment, they can experience what is referred to as insecure attachment. Now, individuals that experience insecure attachment might very well experience anxiety or experience trauma later on in their lives. Again, this results from early developmental needs going unmet. Now, typically for individuals that experience insecure attachment and anxiety or trauma, oftentimes as they go throughout their lives, they will look for things to help get them through trying times. And we often refer to these things as survival adaptations. So for some individuals, they might resort to alcohol or buying as a mechanism to deal with the stressors or the trauma or the anxiety that they are experiencing at that moment. So, what they then do is rely on those survival adaptations. Now, this is where the shame part of the equation comes in. So, let's take an individual that might be having anxiety and they're feeling really, really triggered. And what they do in that moment is they resort to eating as a means or a way to get through the situation. Now, after they're filled up and they're full and they might have binged or they might have even purged, what typically might happen after that is they experience this profound sense of shame. And it sounds something like this. Oh my goodness, you're so weak. Oh my God, you are disgusting. Can you believe that, you're binging and purging? If people ever knew this about you, what would they think? Okay, so when that particular response occurs and an individual then moves into a shame cycle, it can create what? More anxiety, more trauma, and more shame. But the individual might not be aware of what they're doing and in essence, what? Inflicting shame upon themselves. What they also might not realize is, unbeknownst to themselves, shame is also a survival adaptation. And as a result, early on in life, you might have resorted to shame as a way to remain invisible, as a way to just try to plow through experiences that you had that were what? Debilitating or painful. So it's very, very important to realize that if you're an individual that came from a home that was neglectful, abusive, or dysfunctional, yes, you're probably going to experience anxiety. Yes, you're probably going to experience what? Trauma and have trauma triggers. And you're also at times going to experience shame as well. But what you need to realize is that is not a symptom of something being wrong with you, but rather a symptom of what has happened to you. So just remind yourself, it is okay. And you are trying the best that you can to get through a very difficult time. The most important thing to remember is anxiety, trauma, and shame were merely survival adaptations to help you get through. So with that, if you found this video helpful, please press the thumbs up button, and please also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can also reach me at www.monicashelp.com.